Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel English and Beyond. I am CJ Roy, and in today's class, we are going to learn about past perfect tense, how to frame questions both in the affirmative and negative. So, without wasting any time, let's get started with today's class. So, here is the past perfect tense affirmative questions. If you take our first person singular I, first person, you have the auxiliary verb had. So I had written was the statement. When we change this into a question, we will just reverse the order or put the auxiliary verb first and then the subject. So I had written changes to had I written? Had I written a letter that day? And this is the same with all the subjects, irrespective of whether they belong to first person, second person, third person, or if those subjects are singular or plural. They don't matter. We just have to put any subject, whatever you would like to use, and then use the had. So, second, you had written a letter. Now that becomes you had. Had you written a letter that day? That's the question. And the third person, singulars we have. He, she, it had written a letter. That was a statement. Now, when we change that into a question, it becomes had he written a letter? Had she written a letter? Had it written a letter? That's a question. The same pattern applies to all the tenses. I mean, framing questions, making negatives, they remain the same. And the next one, first person plural, we. So we had written a letter, changes into we had. Had we? Had we written a letter? That's a question. And finally, the last one, that is third person plural, they. Or instead of they, any plural subject that we use. It will be they had written, the children had written, okay, the parents had spoken about it. So it goes like this. So they had. Had they? Had they written a letter? So it's easy enough. I hope you understood this, how to frame questions. I mean, affirmative questions in the past perfect tense. Now let's go to our next part, that is framing questions in the negative, in the same tense, which is past perfect tense. So let's see that. Well, again, the first person singular. So we are now going to make questions which are negative. So let us just go back to the statement, negative statement. I had not written a letter. I had not written a letter. Put the had first, auxiliary verb. Had I not written a letter? Had I not written a letter? Or else may use the contracted form, that is had plus not, hadn't. So you will say, hadn't I written a letter? Hadn't I written a letter? Remember, you will not use the not again if you use hadn't first, because not is already there, had plus not hadn't. So some of us make this mistake saying, hadn't I not written a letter? No, which is wrong. Double repetition of not required. So hadn't, they are contracted, not is attached to the auxiliary verb had. So hadn't I written a letter is the correct one, or else had I not written a letter. Similarly, we have you had not written a letter. You had not written a letter. Had you not written a letter? Or else, hadn't you written a letter? Now, coming to the third person, singulars we have. He, she, it had not written a letter. So the negative question will be, had he not written a letter? Or else, hadn't he written a letter? Had she not written a letter? Hadn't she written a letter? Had it not written a letter? Hadn't it written a letter? So the questions will be this way, negative questions. And again, the first person plural, we, and use. We had not written a letter. It will change into, had we not written a letter? Or else, hadn't we written a letter? And similarly, the last one, past perfect, third person plural, they. They had not written a letter. Changes into had they not written a letter? Or else hadn't they written a letter? So now you got the idea. It's easy. It's simple, provided you are watching with focus and concentration. This is going to be okay with you. Why am I saying every tense we have the same form, but still I would like to continue with this kind so that you really get this thing, the tense thing into your head and you understand what's what. This is very, very important. So that was our lesson today, our class, how to frame negative questions and affirmative questions in the past perfect tense. Well, if you found this session, this lesson useful, helpful in some way, it has helped you, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to tap the bell icon so you will never miss our next English class. Until we meet again in the next video with another tense or same tense, its uses, let me just ask you to keep learning, keep practicing, and keep growing with English and beyond. Thank you for watching and take care.